What makes your music universal in a sense? Why do you think so many people can enjoy it?
Well, I also believe that it has to do with a lot of luck, and I think now that I wrote this record out of this heartbreak thing, but I kind of try to embrace the heartbreak. So I think in the period of people just liking to hear something that you can embrace a heartbreak or something, and that it was in the stream of this electronical vibe that it came like really well together, like the puzzle connected with the crowd, and also I noticed the crowd went bigger and bigger also because there's this there's this danceable vibe, but it's still dancing on sad music. So I think there was some sort of I think some people might need to hear this kind of music.
And what is one of the best reactions you've had to your music, maybe from a fan or something that somebody told you?
There were so many. There's funerals, which always are kind of touching, and a lot of people saying they had sex on the album. You know, that's also kind of funny. That's actually the best. I think that's actually a really nice one. Just stuff like that, you know, emotional things or more normal things.
And well, you're touring all over Europe. Do you notice differences between the countries in the way your music is received?
Well, I certainly notice a difference in between crowds. I think the crowd in the Netherlands is a little bit more energetic. In Belgium, depends on whether you're in a festival or in an indoor thing. In Turkey, for example, they're really loud and really energetic as well. Also in Spain, goes really well. But then France is a little bit more like Belgium, a little bit more just like they don't scream so much. Belgians, they scream and they don't dance. And Holland, people from Holland, they dance and they scream.
Does it influence your performance, the way a crowd reacts, or?
Well, yeah, because for me, it's kind of feeling the vibe of the crowd, and then they give me the first run to like they push me to go further when they're really energetic. I also go up and up, so it's like a thing like you have to run and then you go together with the crowd higher and higher. So when it's like a seated crowd or when people are just staring, which could also be a way of liking it, but for me I like more jumpy people. So yeah, of course it's important.
You've won an award now. Is the United States, is that on your radar? Is that something you think about?
Well, definitely for recording and everything. I'm about to go there in a few weeks, but also some festivals in the States. But I mean, it's a different industry. It's because now I prefer to focus a little bit more on Europe, and because if you try to get higher at the same places in all over the world, it's gonna get really tough at some point. So I think it's better to focus on some areas and then see what can happen next. But we're definitely talking with a few people there, and I just also would like to play there when it has a meaning, not just like try to tour and try to create a fan base out of nothing is not really the strategy I like.
Okay.
I like more that you release a song and then you get asked a little, or you feel a little bit more that you're like there's more demand or something instead of just touring. But because touring is easy, everybody can tour in the US, but it's I like more to have like start playing there when you have bigger crowds directly.
Have you started writing for a new album yet?
I have started, yes. and it's going very, very slow because I'm still touring, you know. When you have this mindset of touring, it's a little bit hard to start writing because I need some life experience, and I cannot get that out of working when I'm on tour.
Sure.
So I need like personal life experience outside of touring, and then hopefully my writing process is gonna go a little bit faster.
Has it changed since the writing of Entity? Do you notice now already that you're approaching songs differently, or?
Yeah. I mean, that's also really important to approach every album in a different way, or even every song in a different way. Like maybe letting coincidence take the upper hand, or maybe putting decisions sometimes into someone else's hands or whatever. To do a lot of co-writes, and I really want to work with a lot of people this time.
Do you have anybody in mind already
Yeah.
that you can share?
No.
Okay. Well, finally, do you have a sense of where the music is going? You say you want to have a different approach than on the first album. So do you have a general sense on where you're going?
On general sense, it's going to be a little bit more danceable, because the thing was that when I wrote Entity, I wrote to make like a listening album, and then we started to play festivals, and I noticed that I wanted to do something a little bit more dynamic. So now I'm gonna listen a little bit more to a festival crowd before I start writing. To have like this, I'm gonna play this on a main stage somewhere, or I'm gonna think more in that way.
Finally, then, do you remember the first album you ever bought?
The first album I bought. I think it was No Doubt or The Fugees. I'm not sure.
Well, which one do you prefer?
The Fugees.
Okay, so let's go for Fugees. Why the Fugees?
Why the Fugees? Because first of all, I think Lauryn Hill is a great singer. They have good beats. They're dark, but also on this chill vibe in some way. It's nice to combine darkness and relaxed mood. So yeah, it's dark and relaxed, and that's why, I guess.
Is it something you still, on occasion, listen to?
Not so much.
And then very early on, did it influence the way you made
It
music?
influenced my first album, definitely, because I started for the first album. I went to the things that inspired me from the beginning when I was a child, because when you're a child you don't think of what's cool to listen to, so that's like a really honest way of liking something. So then, yeah, there's like No Doubt, and I remember when No Doubt video when she had like this dot here with her blonde hair and she's singing in the garage. That was the first moment I thought I want to start a band in the garage and sing like that.
Okay.
And maybe even wear the dress.
And you say now then that was a very innocent way of listening to music and enjoying music. Have you noticed in yourself that it has changed now then, that you listen to music differently, and especially with regard to influences for the new album?
Well, when I was 16 going on 17 and 18, that was a little bit like that I wanted to, like maybe 14, 15, 16, that I thought like I want to listen to music that has been considered as cool. And then when I was 20, 21, I realized that I didn't like the music that was considered cool. And I just couldn't help it anymore. I just kept listening to Celine Dion, Mariah Carey, and all those things. And yeah, so and then when you get older, actually nobody cares whether what you listen to is cool or not. So I mean, I kept listening to Laura Pausini and everything, and everybody was like, thought it was weird. And then eventually now everybody thinks it's normal because when you're an adult, apparently you can listen to whatever you want. So
What is someone you like to listen to now? Just one name.
now I really don't listen a lot to music, but I like Vashti Bunyan. You know Vashti? She's this folk singer from the 70s.
Okay.
And she's good friends with Devendra Banhart.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, you should check it out. It's really great. It's really folky, like sleeping room music, you know. And yeah, that. Sometimes a little bit of Lady Gaga
Okay. So
because
anything-
it's chill. I mean, it's not. You don't have to think about it when you listen. It's just it keeps me calm.
so not for inspiration, but just
No, not inspirational, but just maybe the way she handles music in the industry is much more inspirational than just the music, but yeah, it's kind of nice.
thank you very much for your time.
Pleasure.
Thank you.